Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Wear It Wednesdays. If you are looking to take your professional image and style to the next level in an authentic way, then you are definitely in the right place. Before I kick off today's conversation, like always, I wanted to do a wellness check in. How are you doing today? Let me know in the chat. How are you feeling? How are you doing? For me, I'm trying to right now, for the first time in 3 or 4 years, I decided that I'm going to drive myself. I live in Atlanta, and so I've been putting off driving on the highway and going downtown Atlanta. And so today there's a networking event that I really wanted to go to support women in STEM. And so I was like, it's cold. I'm not gonna take an Uber. I'm not gonna take a Lyft. And it was really early. It was like a breakfast event. So it was like 7:30 in the morning, which meant that I had to leave like 6:30 in the morning. And so I decided to drive myself. And the anxiety was real. And so getting back home, I decided that, okay, I needed to decompress a little bit. I'm still trying to work through all the nerves that I felt today, but I'm like super happy that I actually did it because I've been like postponing it for so long of like, oh, I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it. I don't want to go downtown. I don't want to be in that traffic. And so I conquered my fear today, right? I conquered my fear today. It took a lot out of me, but I did it and I'm going to do it again. But this time I know exactly what to expect and how to manage my nerves. So if you are joining me live, thank you very much for being here. If you're watching the replay, thank you very much for coming back and watching and maybe sharing with me as well, like what is something that you have done lately that was like really scary and you did it anyway, like you've conquered your fear and you decided to like go for it. And that was definitely one of those things that I allowed fear to really control. And my anxiety and everything just kind of kicked in. I was like, oh my gosh, I think I want to go home. But I did it. I did it. And I'm super proud. So let me know in the chat, how are you feeling? And what's something that you have done lately that you were fearful of doing, but you did it anyway and you're super proud of yourself. If you're new to this space, I'm Salida Roberts. I'm the founder of Style to Impact. Now, before I get into today's conversation, I just have one announcement to make. Some of you may have seen this before where I talked about gift cards are now available for purchase. It's the holiday season and you may be thinking of, what type of gifts to give your colleagues or your friends or your family, that woman in your life that you really want to support and show her how much you love her and how much you appreciate her. Gift cards are definitely a great way of doing that. And giving the gift of style is even a better way to show your friends and family that you really thought of giving them a gift that's really thoughtful. It's something that can help them to increase their confidence and of course having an image that really allows them to shine even more. So to purchase gift cards, you can go to styletaimpact.com/gift cards. How it works, once you get on the site, you choose your budget. I left it open so that you can choose based on the budget that you have. And of course, you enter the message that you want to send to that special person. And then of course, it just goes to them automatically. But if you do want me to send them an actual card like this, then of course, let me know by sending me a DM that you really want to send that special person in your life a gift card and you want them to have an actual card with just kind of like some notes on there. Then of course, I'm happy to do that, to mail it to them in a very special package. So again, as I said, gift cards are available. The gift of style is something that you can give your colleagues and your friends. Starting today, it's available at styletaimpact.com/gift cards. And so let's get into today's conversation. And when I thought about today's conversation and my experience today, it's like, yeah, this is definitely a timely conversation where I'm talking about setting your style free, letting go of all the fears, letting go of all the opinions, all the, instructions that you were told, how to approach your style, how to show up, what to do, the do's and don'ts, and really step into how you want to show up, right? And understand, getting a true understanding as to how you want to show up means that you have to first of all understand what is the fear that you have, what are the struggles that you have, right? Like I shared earlier, my fear was going into traffic. It wasn't getting on the highway. It was just being on the highway with the traffic and trying to navigate and maneuver that. And so once I understood what that fear was, then of course deciding that, okay, I'm going to do it, it's now or never, I'm going to do it and just get on the highway and see what happens with the traffic, right? And so same thing, we can apply the same principle when it comes to your personal style and really defining and how you want to show up and what does that mean, right? And knowing that whenever you walk into your closet or whenever you're getting dressed, it doesn't feel as though your style is all over the place. And so that's what we're going to be talking about today. Like, what are the 4 struggles that's getting in your way of really stepping into your authentic style, of really wearing clothes that truly represent who you are as a person? And so I I was decluttering my Google folder this weekend. Actually, I was decluttering my Google folder this weekend. And so in going through the photo album, I was looking back at old photos of myself, like in the last 3 years when I decided to create Style to Impact as a way of, one, giving myself an opportunity, like saying yes to myself, giving myself, reclaiming my confidence and my self-worth in myself. And so I was looking back at when I was like doing videos and when I was, getting dressed, and something that I realized is that I'm wearing the same clothing today that I wore 3 years ago. But the difference is that, I mean, I look back at those photos and I'm like, oh my gosh, like, oh my gosh, right? I'm like, what were you thinking, Salida? Like, I didn't look confident. I didn't feel confident, even though I was wearing like clothing. And so what I realized, it's not that I got better at style and I got more monies to purchase the clothing and the things that I want, and got better at putting together outfits. What happened for me is that my self-belief and self-confidence grew. Like, there's a level of spark, there's a level of like light that you feel when you feel confident. There's this light, really, really and truly, it's like you beam, right? And so when you feel confident, because I feel confident in myself, it's the things that I'm wearing doesn't feel like it's just just clothing, or it doesn't look as bad as I did then, because I'm so much more confident in myself, and I'm so much more confident in my self-worth and how I'm showing up, and just confident in my business overall as well, and just doing uncomfortable things and growing through the learning curves of the failures and the triumphs. And so when I thought about, like, what are some things that might have gotten in my way of really stepping into the style that I wanted, really stepping into how I wanted to show up? And some of these struggles are the same struggles that like my clients will share with me. It's the same struggles that we would have worked through, because we all have them, right? No one gets up. Like, I've never met anyone that's like super perfect at anything. We all have to learn. We all have to practice whatever it we want. And style is a part of that. And so the first struggle that we have when it comes to that's really getting in our way when it comes to how we want to show up in our personal style, right? That may be getting in your way as well, is imposter syndrome. And I know imposter syndrome is something that, it's like a buzzword. It's all over where we see an imposter syndrome and showing up, imposter syndrome. But there is this fear of being seen when it comes to how we show up and what we wear, right? And this is why, most of you will grab that black outfit because it makes you feel as though you're invisible. It makes you feel as though like your insecurities and things that you are struggling with, it makes it feel as though it's not being seen, right? Because you may not think that you're worthy of being seen. You may not feel as though you're in the right place or space to be seen, to use your voice. And so what happens is that you are wearing clothes that really blocks your light from coming through. And so imposter syndrome, in terms of what we wear and why it's getting in your personal in the way of your personal style, is because you're not allowing yourself to be seen, right? Like how many of you have got on, I know we're all zoomed out and everything like that, but how often do you actually show up on camera in spaces that you're new to? There's a difference between showing up in spaces where it's your colleagues, it's people that you see every single day, right? And how you show up in rooms that you may not have met anyone. It's the first time being in that room. And so, yes, we're zoomed out, but if you're struggling with being seen, if you're struggling with how you feel about yourself, that imposter syndrome will tell you, like, oh, I'm not worthy of showing up. I'm not worthy of being seen, right? I don't want to turn my camera on because I don't feel great about myself. And so I want you to start thinking about, when you think about, like, is imposter syndrome getting in my way of being seen? Do I have a fear of being seen? I want you to think about, if when you ask yourself that question, what can you do? And there's nothing like taking action. Like, feel the fear and do it anyway. We know we've all heard that so many times, right? Feel the fear and do it anyway. And I think whenever that, like, we all have that voice that will say, you are not worthy, or you are not ready, or you are not on the same level like everyone. Like, you have to quiet that voice. You have to basically quiet that voice and start, in a way, shouting by being present. Like, quiet it, like raise your voice and dim that internal voice that's keeping you stuck. And so that's the first struggle that may be getting in your way, and that is imposter syndrome, where you don't feel as though you're worthy, where you don't feel as though you are confident enough to show up, or you're not in the place or space that you need to be. So feel that fear and do it anyway, right? You need to be seen. We want to see your gifts. We want to see, the world needs to see everything that you have to offer. And that's definitely a way of breaking down that barrier, which allows you to then start expressing yourself in the way that you're showing up. The second thing is body acceptance and body confidence, and body, the struggle that you have with your body right now, right? You may have gone through a series of changes, and I hear this so often. It's like, oh, I'm not on my ideal body right now, or I'm frustrated with my body. I don't have, it's not what it used to be, right? And most of that is coming from, not because there's something wrong with your body, but because of what we see on television, because of this idea of what a perfect body looks like that we are seeing, and we are trying to fit into that narrative of what a perfect body is, when really and truly you should be embracing your body instead of trying to chase this dream of a perfect body, right? Just embrace who you are. And I was playing this Spotify, and a particular artist, and it was just like on a loop. And there's a song that started to play, and what was the first time I heard it? It's this Victoria's Secret song. If you've ever heard the song, definitely. If you've heard it, let me know in the chat if you've heard it. And if not, definitely go ahead and listen to that song. But it talked about, like, I know what Victoria's Secret is in that Victoria's Secret was actually created by a man, not a woman, right? And the the singer was talking about this idea that it was created to tap into our insecurities as women, right? By showing us what an ideal body looks like, and by basically challenging us and basically making us feel and resent ourselves if we don't fit into that ideal body or in that ideal look. And so, because you are struggling with the idea of not having this ideal body type, that's going to affect what you wear. And so, something that I work with my clients whenever they're having this particular challenge, right? What I advise my clients to do is stand in front of the mirror in your birthday suit. And if you know what your birthday suit is, you know what your birthday suit is. And I want you to look at your body from the lens of every single thing that is allowed you to do. If you have kids, like you were, you have kids, you birth kids, you breastfed your kids, you've given life, right? If you've given life and you've gone through the process of motherhood and you've done that, then of course that's a gift that you've given into the world. That's a life that you brought into the world, and your body allowed you to do that, right? And it doesn't matter your size, your shape. Once that's something that you're capable of doing, or you're doing, nothing says, oh, you have to be a particular size or body shape or weight to be able to have a kid. If you want to, if you can, it happens, and that's a blessing. And so appreciate that, right? The fact that you got up and you can actively tend to your family, you can actively go into your business and your career and be yourself. That's a gift. And that your body allows you to do that. And so I want you to really stand in the mirror and make a list of at least 10 things. You can find 10 things that you absolutely love and appreciate about your body. Don't feed into the narrative that you need to have an hourglass shape, or you need to be, lose weight and be what you were yesterday to fit into the clothes that you want to. No. When it comes to dressing your body type, it's about creating balance. It's about understanding your proportions, and it's about understanding what your personal style is and what are the different types of clothing that you can wear. That's going to really help you to feel more confident in the clothes that you wear. So really, I'm really talking about this body acceptance and body issues that we feel, because that's the biggest blocker to really embracing and stepping into your personal style as women, because we think that we have to fit into this ideal body type. You don't. Your body is your body. Bless it, love it, and dress it exactly how you want to dress it. And so the other struggle that my clients, when we talk about things that they've experienced as well, is trauma, right? And this goes back to body acceptance, and this goes back to imposter syndrome and not wanting to be seen, not wanted because of some type of trauma that you would have experienced in your life, right? Trauma from someone saying to you, you're not good enough, or you shouldn't wear that for your size. You shouldn't wear that for your complexion. You shouldn't, wear your natural, especially for women of color. Like, oh, don't come in here with your natural hair. Don't wear bold colors. And because you haven't really found your voice, and because you haven't really stepped into owning your personal style and how you want to express yourself, those narrative can affect how you show up and how you dress, right? So you start avoiding being yourself because you don't want anyone to place you in a box, or you don't want anyone to bring these things that you would have suppressed to the forefront, because who wants that, right? And so my advice to you is like really understanding, like, do that self-discovery work, do that work of internal work, and understanding, like, what are some things, what are some experiences that I've had in life that's affecting the way that I'm showing up in my career or business, that's affecting me being visible, right? So just to give you an example, like, it's not like traumas are different. So this is more of a story in terms of how I decided to, at one point, decided that I was not going to wear gold jewelry because when I moved to Antigua and Barbuda, I was told that, oh, to know what a Guyanese look like, because I'm from the Republic of Guyana, which is the only English-speaking country in South America. Absolutely love them. That to identify us, there was a stereotype that to identify us, oh, just look and see if the person is wearing gold. And so I avoided wearing gold. So that trauma of not wanting to be seen and stereotyped that way, I avoided wearing something. So really having an understanding as to what's affecting, what traumas in your life that you would have experienced that's stopping you from wearing a particular clothing, color, style, and being yourself. And the other struggle that's really getting in your way of setting your style free and being yourself, being able to express yourself and wear clothes that really allows you to shine in the place and spaces that you're in, is money, right? Money is a big thing, because if you have a lack mindset and now you have a little bit of money, it's like, oh my gosh, no, I can't invest in myself, right? Going back to imposter syndrome, like, I'm not worthy enough to spend money on myself. I need to hold on and secure what I have, because I never know when, if I'm ever going to get it again, or if I'm going to lose it. And then, there's this idea that to dress well and to express yourself in your style, for some reason it entails a shopping spree. It does not entail a shopping spree. This is where smart shopping comes into play, and you can only shop smart if you understand what your personal style is and how you want to express yourself and how you want to show up in your personal brand. So when you think about money and you think about spending monies on your personal style, you have to think about it as an investment. It's not buying clothes. Fast fashion has shown us, like, oh yeah, you just have to keep up with the trends and you keep buying and buying. And if that's what you're seeing and you're thinking that that's what it means to have great style, and of course, no one, I would not advise anyone to keep dumping monies into something that is not allowing you, like, it's not going to last a long time, right? It's not going to allow you to express and feel confident in how you're showing up if you're just constantly just throwing money at trying to add clothes to your wardrobe, but not being intentional about it, right? And so every time you think about investing in your image, because that is what you're investing in, how you want to show up in the world, how you want persons to see and view you, that is what you're investing in. Like you would invest in getting a business coach. That person what that person is doing is giving you the tools to be able to succeed. Same thing goes when you invest in your wardrobe. Think of the clothes that you have in your wardrobe as tools that you would use by creating outfits, by getting dressed, that allows you to express who you are, to allow you to, that really allows you to increase your influence, your impact, and your income. Right. So it's coming back to you, because when you feel confident in the way you show up, that means that you're raising your hand for opportunities. That means that you're being visible. That means imposter syndrome is not the at the forefront of your decision making. Fear is not at the forefront of your decision making. You're being more visible in your personal brand. You're being more visible in your career. You're being more intentional in your business, and you're putting yourself up for opportunities, right? Because when you do that, then you become known. Then you become that person that everyone is going to, which means that it comes back to you. So you might have spent $50 on a blouse and a pants, but when you are wearing and showing up in a confident way, the return on that investment is great. It's great. So don't think of money in terms of when you're investing in your image and your wardrobe as, oh, I'm wasting money. It's an investment. You're only wasting monies if you are constantly buying the wrong things, if you are always looking at your closet full of clothes going, okay, why do I have all of this in here and still I have nothing to wear? And so that is what I want you to think about today. I want you to think about, like, which of these, I just gave you 4 style struggles that are getting in your way of really setting your style free, of really stepping into the image that you want to project into the world. And those 4 struggles are imposter syndrome. That's the fear of being seen, right? You are fearful that you don't have the right clothing. You are fearful that you not worthy of showing up in that room, in that space, right? And then there's the body acceptance, the body issues, body challenges that you have, because we're seeing it all over in the media, all over everywhere, that you're supposed to fit into this hourglass and you're supposed to have this perfect body, and then you're looking at yourself and you're comparing that you don't have that. And so it's like, oh, I can't dress, I don't feel great in my body. And so I want you to start looking at your body as from a place of empowerment and the things that it allow you to do. Make a list of 10 things that you really appreciate about your body and what is allowed you to do. And then of course there's trauma, right? Tap in and understand, like, what are some of those trauma, what are some of those stories you were told about your personal style, about clothes that you wear, about colors that you wear, about your image, that you need to shed and work on. Like, other people's opinion as to how you should show up should not matter. The only thing that matters is yours. And of course, when you think about money and investing in your wardrobe, think about the things that you're buying, the pieces that you're buying, that you're adding into your wardrobe as the tools that you're going to use to get dressed every single day so that you can increase your influence, impact, and income. Thank you all very much for joining me today. If you're here live, I appreciate you being here. I see you in the chat. Good morning, Sonia. Good morning, Abida. I apologize if I didn't pronounce your name correctly there. Please correct me if I didn't. Thank you very much for being here. If you're watching the replay, I appreciate you coming back. It's always a pleasure connecting with all of you and having these conversations. So if we haven't connected as yet, definitely here on LinkedIn, click that follow button, click that notification bell so that you know whenever I'm going live again. And of course, whenever I'm posting content that allows you to really step into your authentic style and show up for yourself in a powerful way. Thank you for joining. Enjoy the rest of your day and have a fantastic week. Bye.